Women don't always return because they miss you or suddenly realize your value. They don't come back because they've fallen deeply in love overnight. The truth is more complex, and for many men, it's a tough reality to accept. Women often return after a no-contact period due to one main reason: the loss of control. When you truly cut her off, no calls, texts, or signals, you change the dynamic where she once held dominance. This change unsettles her because she needs validation like everyone does. She's used to being the center of attention, the one who's in charge. When that power is gone, it creates fear. Fear that you've moved on, someone else has taken her place, or she's no longer the center of your world. Here's the hard truth. Most women don't come back for you. They come back for the power they feel they've lost. It's not about your personality, looks, or success. It's about how they feel when control slips away. The space you create forces them to react. Many men mistakenly think her return means love. She might call, text, or show up, and they fall into old habits, chasing her, confessing feelings, or being overly available. This just resets the dynamic, giving her back control. The no-contact rule works, not because it's magical, but because it's grounded in psychology. Once you understand why women return, you can decide whether you even want her back. When a woman feels in control of a man, it boosts her confidence. As long as she controls the relationship, she feels secure. But when that control is gone, she faces the unsettling truth that she's no longer in charge. That's where no contact comes in. By not chasing her, you make her chase the validation she once got from you. You stop reacting the way she expects, disrupting her sense of security. She shifts from being confident and in control to feeling uncertain and curious about what you're doing and who you're with. At first, she might enjoy the space, but over time, curiosity and doubt take over. She starts wondering if you miss her or have moved on. The longer you stay silent, the stronger her urge to reach out becomes. When she finally does, it's often not about reconnecting emotionally. It's a test to see if she still holds power over you. It's not about love, it's about control. Take Mark and Sarah as an example. Mark was always the one texting, planning, and showing he cared. Sarah, knowing Mark would always pursue her, stopped putting in effort. Then one day, Mark stopped. No more texts, calls, or reactions. Sarah, used to his constant attention, felt the shift. She was no longer in control. Weeks later, she reached out, but not because she missed Mark. She wanted to see if he would still chase her. It wasn't about Mark. It was about her regaining that sense of control. When you stop pursuing her, it changes the dynamic she's used to. For many women, being chased validates their sense of value and desirability. It reassures them they are the focus of your attention. When you stop suddenly, it triggers a shift in her mind. Now, she's uncertain about her position, and that uncertainty drives her crazy. Your attention was her emotional safety net. Each text or call reminded her she was important. But when you pull away, she's left with silence that forces her to reflect on what she's lost. This silence shifts the balance of power. She's no longer the one being pursued and starts questioning. Who is he chasing now? Why doesn't he care anymore? Look at James and Emily. James always made the plans, called, and showered Emily with compliments. Emily enjoyed the attention but didn't feel the need to reciprocate, assuming James would always be there. One day, James stopped. He didn't call, text, or engage with her on social media. At first, Emily ignored it, confident he would return. But as days turned into weeks, she began to question everything. Why wasn't James chasing her? She started checking her phone constantly, wondering if he'd moved on. Eventually, she reached out with a casual excuse just to hear from him. For James, this wasn't about playing games. It was about reclaiming his value and letting Emily realize what she had taken for granted. Going no contact unsettles a woman's sense of control. It's not about manipulation, it's about breaking predictability. When she knows how you'll respond or when you'll reach out, she feels secure. But when you disrupt that pattern, she's forced to reevaluate her place in your life. When you always show a woman how much you care, it gives her a sense of certainty. The moment you stop, that certainty is gone, leaving her uneasy. As long as you're accessible, you're an open book. She knows exactly where she stands and doesn't have to question your intentions. But when you disappear, questions dominate her thoughts. What is he thinking? Has he moved on? Does he still care? The pattern of your attention is broken, leaving a void. This loss of control isn't just unsettling, it's frustrating. She's accustomed to your predictability, maybe even taken it for granted. When you change the dynamic, she can't anticipate your actions anymore. This sudden shift creates urgency. Now, the situation is flipped, and she's the one scrambling to regain control. It's not just about emotions, it's about pride. No one likes to feel they've lost influence over someone who once seemed devoted. By breaking contact, you're silently showing her that she no longer controls you. You've reclaimed your power and chosen not to play by her rules. This creates a paradox. On one hand, she may resist chasing you because that would mean admitting she's lost control. On the other hand, the silence eats at her because it suggests she's no longer a priority. This hits her ego hard. Whether she's aware of it or not, she'll feel the urge to reconnect just to regain the sense of control she once had. This is why so many women return after no contact. It's not necessarily about love or missing you. It's about restoring the stability and control she felt when you were pursuing her. By stepping back, you've created an unexpected challenge she feels compelled to solve. One of the strongest triggers for a woman to return after no contact is the fear of being replaced. When you stop reaching out, it implies you might be moving on or even seeing someone else. This thought alone can create panic. She might tolerate distance, but the idea of someone else stepping into the space she once held feels unbearable. You were her center of attention, and the possibility of someone taking her place makes her question her own value. Even if she convinces herself she's fine or doesn't need you, deep down, she wonders if you're truly over her, or worse, if you've already moved on. When a woman senses she could be replaced, it awakens a powerful instinct. Women thrive on feeling desired, but the idea that the man they were involved with has emotionally or physically moved on sparks a competitive drive. Often, this isn't about love, it's about proving she still matters to you. The fear of being replaced can outweigh every other emotion. It pushes her to act, even if just to test the waters. She might reach out subtly to gauge your reaction or check if someone else has entered your life. This idea eats away at her, driving her to reassert her position as the person who matters most to you. At the core of this is the human desire to feel irreplaceable. For women, the thought of another person taking their role creates insecurity. That insecurity drives her to reconnect, sometimes without fully understanding why. It's not only about being replaced in your life, but also in your heart. Another critical point: being overly available can backfire. Many men think that always being there, replying instantly, dropping everything, or rearranging plans for her will win her over. While this may seem like the right thing to do, it rarely inspires long-term desire. Being constantly available signals a lack of independence and can even come across as desperate. People don't value what they can easily have, and too much availability makes you seem less appealing. If she knows you'll always be there, she's less likely to appreciate your presence. This doesn't mean you should play games or act indifferent. It's about maintaining your own life, interests, and priorities. When you show her that your life doesn't revolve around her, it makes you more attractive. Women are drawn to men who are independent, purpose-driven, and passionate. When you focus on your goals and refuse to make her your sole priority, it sparks curiosity and respect. She'll notice the change, and instead of taking you for granted, she'll feel the need to earn your attention again. Stop making her the center of your universe. Show her that you have your own life and ambitions. That's when she'll realize what she's at risk of losing, and she'll come back, not just to maintain control, but to win you back. Living your life with purpose and focus, as if you have greater things to achieve, makes her recognize your value. The absence of your presence creates a gap she begins to feel. Silence can be a powerful force. When you go no contact, the void left by your attention and communication speaks volumes. For her, that silence becomes overwhelming, forcing her to face feelings she may have ignored. Women often rely on emotional exchanges to feel secure in a relationship. When communication stops, it unsettles even the most confident woman. The silence makes her overthink. Why hasn't he reached out? Has he moved on? Is he happier without me? These thoughts aren't just annoying, they're intrusive. Silence disrupts the emotional stability she once depended on. When you were chasing her, she felt safe knowing she had your attention. But now, the roles are reversed. Your silence forces her to face a truth she may have avoided. She cared more than she admitted. That realization cuts deeper than any argument. Silence also creates emotional space, an aspect of relationships often overlooked. By stepping back, you give her time to reflect. At first, she might act indifferent, telling herself she's better off, but as time passes, the lack of contact impacts her deeply. She'll replay moments, question what went wrong, and eventually face a choice: to reach out or let go completely. For most women, staying silent indefinitely feels impossible. Silence forces vulnerability, making her confront emotions she tried to suppress. This is why many women break no contact first. At this point, it's no longer about control. It's about coping with the emotional loss of someone who cared. Your silence becomes your strength, making her see you differently. Don't underestimate its impact. Women love the thrill of the chase. The excitement of earning someone's attention and affection can feel intoxicating. But they hate losing that chase. When a man becomes too predictable or always available, the thrill fades. On the other hand, when he remains elusive, focuses on his independence, and prioritizes his life, he reignites the excitement of pursuit. The secret lies in balance. By staying true to your goals and passions, you keep the dynamic fresh and engaging. This isn't about manipulation, but maintaining self-respect and independence. Women are attracted to men who challenge them, not by playing games, but by living authentically and confidently. Remember this: silence and independence aren't tactics. They're reflections of a man who values himself and his time. That's the kind of man she'll pursue. The thrill of the chase is undeniably exhilarating. It's exciting and sometimes even maddening. The pursuit sparks adrenaline and emotion. However, many men overlook what happens when the chase is over. It's not just about getting her attention. It's about sustaining her interest, keeping the chase alive, and maintaining a sense of mystery and challenge. This is where many go wrong. They become too comfortable, believing the game is over once they've captured her interest. But the truth is, it's not about winning her over. It's about consistently showing the confidence and self-worth that initially drew her to you. But women don't want to be won. They want to keep winning. They crave a sense of challenge, something that keeps them striving. When the chase ends and the pursuit feels complete, attraction often starts to fade. Women enjoy being pursued because it makes them feel desired, valued, and special. However, if the pursuit stops entirely, they begin to question whether they're appreciated for who they are or just for what they provide in the moment. The excitement of the chase adds depth and meaning to the relationship. When things become too easy or predictable, interest diminishes. But this doesn't mean the chase should be about manipulation or pretending. Instead, it's about staying true to your life, goals, and passions while showing that she's worth the effort. When she sees that you have your own priorities yet still choose to make time for her, she perceives the pursuit as genuine and meaningful, not as a fleeting game. If you want her to remain interested, don't stop the chase once you think you've won. Understand that she needs to feel consistently worth pursuing. The moment you stop putting in effort or creating something for her to strive for, her interest can begin to wane. Your absence also plays a key role. While it might seem counterintuitive, being constantly available doesn't necessarily make you more desirable. In fact, your absence can communicate that you're not desperate. Being present 24/7 may feel like the right way to gain her appreciation, but if you're always there, it can come across as needy or even unappealing. Women are drawn to men who have their own lives, ambitions, and priorities. When you pull back, stop chasing, and create space, it sends a message. It shows her that you're not like everyone else, that you're not someone who's always at her beck and call. This shift establishes boundaries, and boundaries are inherently attractive. If she senses that you'll always be there regardless of her effort, she might not feel compelled to put in any. On the other hand, When you make her work for your attention, it stirs her desire and keeps her engaged. The balance lies in maintaining your independence while showing her she's still worth your time and energy. That's how you keep the connection alive. Subscribe to our channel and become part of our community. Here, we create content that inspires, educates, and encourages new perspectives. Stay connected and join us on this journey today.